This is a shelter capable of withstanding level 10 winds, built under a giant rock weighing thousands of tons. Its exterior blends seamlessly with the surrounding environment, and there are abundant resources nearby. This is truly the wildlife that even AI dreams of. The man, named SN, just for asking, "What did you eat?" didn't talk much but couldn't find a wife, so he was driven out of his hometown. After walking 2 kilometers, he was exhausted and decided to rest. When he went west to fetch more water, a uniquely shaped rock immediately caught his attention. He approached and closely observed it. The spacious interior of the rock was the perfect place to build a shelter. An idea instantly sparked in his mind. Since the height inside the rock was quite low, he gathered a lot of dry firewood, with the intention of burning the rock to expand the interior space. Unfortunately, it suddenly poured with heavy rain. He hurriedly took shelter inside the rock, and patiently waited for the rain to stop. Not long after, he began the construction work. He burned the collected firewood under the rock to generate enough heat to crack the stone. During the burning process, he continuously added fuel. Over a long period, the rock above was heated, causing many rock fragments to fall. After that, he began the cleanup work. He used a hammer to break large rocks and gradually moved them out of the shelter. As for the debris, he used a basin he carried with him to carefully collect it. Next, he continued cleaning up the loose rocks on the walls, because he knew, if not handled carefully, the whole village might have to attend a funeral. After clearing the rocks, he gathered dry yellow soil nearby and spread it evenly on the floor as a base layer. Then, he used wooden stakes to compact the ground, making it sturdier. Next, he began mixing. To create the strongest makeshift concrete in the wilderness, he used rocks combined with a natural cement mixture to build the interior walls. In a place with such large temperature differences between day and night like this, a warm fireplace was indispensable. He used stones to form the frame of the fireplace. Luckily, there was already a hole on top of the rock, so when building the chimney, he only needed to stack stones higher. After sealing the chimney inside, he climbed to the top of the rock to build the outer chimney. He skillfully used natural cement combined with stones. With the speed of a 25-year-old bachelor, in no time, he built an extremely beautiful chimney. Next, he began building stairs for the shelter. He constructed steps for the shelter, also by stacking stones. To enhance the aesthetics of the stairs, he specially laid a layer of slate over the cement, making the stairs look flatter and more beautiful. Since the construction was so exhausting, he decided to make a simple lunch. To replenish his energy, he placed large sausages on a Peruvian grill. Soon, the aroma of grilled sausages filled the air. Though the lunch was simple, it was enough to provide the necessary energy for his body to move into the small house before nightfall. He immediately began building the walls. He used his hands to combine stones and homemade cement, continuously stacking them higher. When the wall reached chest height, he left space for a window. Thanks to his meticulousness, one wall was quickly completed. The other side only needed the same process, and in no time, the shelter's walls were fully completed. Next was making the main door. He gathered 12 round logs and carved them into square beams. A short beam was used as the threshold, while longer beams formed the door frame. Each dimension was measured precisely. Then he went to a nearby stream. Since lunch was too simple, he decided to treat himself to a proper dinner. Soon after, he caught quite a few small crabs. But for a young, growing man like him, that wasn't enough. So he continued searching westward, and quickly caught a tasty-looking catfish. When smoke rose from the chimney, the small house felt warm and cozy like a family home. He put the small crabs in a pot to stew with some spices by the fireplace. The 2 large catfish were skewered on sticks and smoked over the chimney. Soon after, he began enjoying a grand crab feast. The crunching sound of his chewing wouldn't be possible without strong teeth. It truly couldn't be enjoyed otherwise. Tomorrow, he'll share his secret to strong teeth with all of you. After a hearty meal, he went to bed satisfied. When we meet him again, it's already the 2nd day of living in the small house. In the morning, he carefully took some charcoal from the fireplace and crushed it in an iron cup. You smart folks have probably guessed it, right? Yes. He's making toothpaste from natural charcoal. Compared to industrial toothpaste, with their long lists of ingredients, who knows how many times more effective this natural version is. This is also the little secret that helps him crunch crabs so crisply. Breakfast was smoked catfish from the night before. After a simple breakfast and preparing everything, he eagerly began finishing the final parts of the shelter. The first step was laying flat stones for the shelter. These stones not only prevent moisture and rot, but also make the shelter's interior look more appealing. It makes the space tidier and more comfortable. Of course, beautifying the exterior of the shelter couldn't be overlooked. After that, he went nearby and carefully gathered some patches of grass. Returning to the shelter, he meticulously laid the grass at the entrance. During the grass laying process, he didn't forget to select two uniquely shaped large stones to place beside it as a highlight, adding a natural touch to the entrance area. The area around the stairs was also carefully decorated. After laying the grass, he watered it, hoping it would quickly grow well in this soil, bringing new life to the shelter. Since the shelter was located near the western edge, he didn't want to risk falling into the water at night while sleepwalking, so he used wooden stakes to make a protective railing. At the stairs, he cleverly used Y-shaped stakes to increase the railing stability. For the fence, he chose to use small, even branches. First, he precisely drilled holes at the positions and secured them firmly with wooden pegs. Additionally, the kitchen area of the shelter was designed as beautifully as a painting, making even tomatoes wonder if he graduated with a degree in gardening. Watching him complete the outdoor kitchen, beautiful like a work of poetry or art, this shelter, if put up for sale, would surely fetch a fortune. To protect his property, he planned to make a sturdy large door. He used a handsaw to cut wood into even planks from a solid block. Then he sanded the wood surface smooth with sandpaper. Next, he began crafting door hinges. Then he used square wood to make a large door frame, applying a traditional mortise and tenon structure, secured with wooden pegs. Each step was performed meticulously. Next, he installed the prepared wooden planks and quickly began installing the door. He created grooves at the top and bottom of the door frame, then skillfully installed the hinges into the grooves. Thus, a door that could open and close flexibly was completed. Now, he no longer had to worry about intruders in the middle of the night. After finishing the construction, he entered a moment of relaxation and rest. He leisurely went to a nearby bamboo forest, carefully selecting a long, straight bamboo stalk. Then he pulled out a family heirloom fishing line. With his skillful hands, a simple, yet effective fishing rod was quickly made. After preparing the bait, he cast the rod with enthusiasm. Not long after, he caught a small fish. Unsatisfied, he continued fishing. With his steady posture and the rod bending sharply, it was surely a big fish. And so, he caught a full basin of fish. Satisfied, he returned to the shelter. In high spirits, he went to the pond in front of the shelter to wash up, ridding himself of fatigue. Changing into clean clothes, he began preparing a grand dinner for the evening. He skewered the fish on bamboo sticks and roasted them in the oven. Midway, he brushed on a secret spicy sauce. Not long after, the fragrant, sizzling roasted fish was ready. At this moment, the gloom of not finding a wife must have vanished. He was full of hope for a beautiful life ahead. In this small shelter, the next time we meet him, he's weaving through a dense forest. While resting, he suddenly recalls a childhood dream and immediately decides to make it a reality. Before him is a 1,000-year-old ancient tree that he deeply loves. The sturdy trunk gives a sense of strength and safety. Using the tree as a long-term residence would truly be smooth sailing. Without hesitation, he immediately took action. First, he used a machete to swiftly clear the dense vegetation around the tree's base, creating space for construction. Next, he took tools and began carving into the tree's roots. He focused intensely, knowing that clearing the tangled roots in the middle would create a suitable living space. Then he went into the forest to gather bamboo. With little effort, he collected a large pile. He used rattan to tightly bind the bamboo, carefully bringing it back to the camp. Next, he gathered some small, flexible branches. Since the uneven, sloping terrain at the entrance made construction difficult, he decided to build a series of steps first. He skillfully inserted branches into the tree's roots, then used iron nails to secure them, creating the step framework. Next, he sharpened one end of the bamboo stalks and drove them into the ground, securing them firmly to the outer frame. Then he used homemade rope to tie them tightly. For the second and third steps, he followed the same method, using the same construction technique. His focused demeanor while building the steps made even tomatoes marvel, thinking that in the future, he would surely surpass many others and shine in the world of wilderness construction. In that world, he could not only break hard rocks, but also weave bamboo with finesse. Truly a man of both brains and brawn, with his vast experience, he quickly completed 3 steps, then began digging soil in the open area near the ancient tree. He shoveled yellow soil into the tree hollow, then used a shovel to spread the soil evenly across the steps. With a clear plan in mind, he leveled the soil evenly, then compacted each section, successfully completing the foundation. Then he went to the riverbed to collect many pebbles, tirelessly bringing them back to the camp. Then he began creating the strongest wilderness concrete. On a cold, rainy jungle night, the priority was building a fireplace to keep warm. He used stones combined with homemade cement. With proficient skills, quickly shaping the basic form of the fireplace. For the top, he used small sticks to fill in, covered it with cement, and placed a slate on top. For the chimney, he found a hollow banana tree and securely placed it over the smoke vent. Finally, he sealed it with wilderness cement to ensure absolute safety. Next, he began building the front wall of the shelter. He used flexible vines, curving them like a work of art, forming the door. For the open space above the door, he used 3 wooden beams as a frame. The remaining wall was planned to be filled with bamboo. He cut bamboo into suitable lengths, then tied each piece securely with rope. After that, he found 2 larger wooden beams to make the main door frame. The gaps on both sides were filled with bamboo to enhance wind resistance and warmth for the shelter. He applied a layer of wilderness cement to the walls. Under his skillful hands, the shelter's walls were quickly completed. Next was making the staircase floor. He split eucalyptus trees into straight wooden planks. Even a cute child nearby was fascinated by his construction. Next, he placed the cut planks on the steps one by one. To enhance the shelter's beauty, he gathered a lot of vines nearby and attached them to the walls. The effect was immediate. The shelter looked much more beautiful. Then he assembled wooden beams to form the main door frame, securing it firmly with iron nails. Then he filled it with bamboo stalks. In no time, a sturdy and beautiful door appeared before his eyes. He securely attached the door base to the ground with precision. A door that opened and closed smoothly was completed. Then he found curved branches to make a railing in front of the door, adding a unique touch to the shelter. He also planned to make a small table for eating and resting. He used wooden sticks and vines to create the frame, and filled the tabletop with bamboo segments. Under his skillful hands, a delicate small table was quickly completed. Then he found a hollowed-out tree stump, covered the inner walls with homemade cement, and finally secured it firmly to the ground in the courtyard. A natural oven was thus completed. At this point, the entire small shelter was fully completed. After a hard day's work, he was ravenously hungry. He decided to gather ingredients for dinner. He collected a lot of fresh, delicious bamboo shoots nearby. As it was getting dark, he thought eating instant noodles tonight would suffice. He peeled the bamboo shoots and put them in an iron pot, then placed it on the stove to cook. When the shoots were cooked, he used the boiling water to prepare instant noodles. Though the dinner was simple, in a wilderness like this, it was enough to restore the energy spent on labor. He added more firewood to the fireplace, watching the flames dance. His heart was filled with hope for the future life in this giant tree house. After a few days of not seeing him, we really miss that familiar figure. Earlier, he went north to learn more to Santenan techniques. Today, he decided to test the results of his studies. With sharp eyes, he quickly chose a prime piece of land with good feng shui, using a fallen tree nearby to build a wooden house. His very first one. He immediately began clearing the land to create a spacious construction area. First, he removed all the scattered rocks from the ground, then swiftly leveled the ground. Each movement showed professionalism and tidiness. Then he ventured into the nearby forest, starting to gather materials for his dream project. With the speed of a 25-year-old bachelor, he quickly gathered a large amount of round logs. Then he precisely determined a spot on the fallen tree, and immediately began carving. He created grooves onto branches, each chisel strike sending wood chips flying. It was like the start of a construction symphony. After preparing, he flattened one end of a long log and carved a groove. Then he meticulously crafted a tenon on a short log and fitted it into the groove on the tree. Next, he attached the other end of the long log to the opposite side. Finally, he connected the tenon precisely. Everything flowed seamlessly. Thus, the main front wall frame was erected. Truly, rough hands doing delicate work. Then he dug a trench under the frame to secure the front wall, then carved tenons on wood and fixed them firmly into the trench. At the connection points, he carefully drilled holes and secured them with wooden pegs. Each peg was like a soldier guarding the house. Thanks to his relentless effort, the main wall was perfectly completed, with the large tree providing a natural frame. Building the side walls was easier. He only needed to arrange logs of varying lengths, then secure them with pegs. Though it was his first time building a wooden house, with his vast experience, he worked as if barehanded yet armed with tools. In no time, the side walls were also completed. For uneven spots on the tree, he skillfully filled them with wood and secured them with pegs, handling every detail with great finesse. Next was building the fireplace. He carried previously prepared stones into the house, then gathered yellow soil nearby. He mixed it with just enough water and kneaded it thoroughly. In no time, he created the strongest natural adhesive. He used stones and homemade forest cement to layer up, working with great proficiency. Then he layered small sticks on top of the fireplace, creating a clear shape. Then he took a large hollow bamboo stalk, cleaned it thoroughly inside, and placed it securely at the chimney position. He sealed and further secured it with rattan to ensure absolute safety. Next, he stacked small wooden sticks in layers, each layer secured with wooden pegs. At this point, the entire house's walls were completed. Next was the roofing process. He planned to build a traditional gable roof. First, he secured the vertical roof columns, then attached to logs, instantly forming a triangular roof frame. Next, he installed the horizontal roof beams. The gable walls were filled with wood, each piece tightly aligned with the next, like telling a story of the power of unity. Then he used wood for the roof beams. Instead of using ordinary wood as usual, he creatively chose local banana trees. First, he split the banana tree. He cleaned out the fibrous interior and smoothed the surface. Every step was done with great care. Next, he sequentially installed the processed wooden planks onto the beams and secured them with wooden pegs. The other side of the roof was done similarly. Under his skillful hands, the roof was quickly completed. Finally, he cut off the excess parts to make the roof look neater and more attractive. After finishing, he felt thirsty and decided to get some water. He lit the fireplace while boiling water. To improve the house's insulation and windproofing, he used cement to seal all the gaps in the walls. You could see he was very focused, meticulously sealing every small corner. He didn't overlook any spot where wind could seep through. Of course, the roof was also a top priority. He carefully sealed it thoroughly to prevent rainwater from leaking into the house, creating a warm and comfortable space. After working continuously for a while, he finally needed to rest. He brewed himself a cup of coffee. The rich aroma of the coffee instantly relaxed him. He unconsciously stood at the door, striking a cool pose. 2.5 minutes later, he was fully re-energized and continued with the construction work. Next, he planned to make a large, sturdy door. He skillfully carved grooves in the middle of the logs, so there was no need to use wooden pegs to secure each plank. It must be said, this was very clever. This version of him is like a water pipe hanging on an airplane. Top-notch, simply installing the logs into the grooves one by one. A solid, monolithic wooden door took shape. Next, he perfectly fitted the door's tenon into the door beam. Then he added a cool door handle. A large door that could open and close easily was completed. To enhance the beauty and comfort of the house, he decided to floor the entire house with solid wood. He cut round logs into pieces and combined them with makeshift cement to lay the floor. The decoration in front of the door couldn't be neglected either. He laid wood on both sides of the main door and spread a layer of pebbles in the middle. Finally, he built an additional step for the house. At this point, the entire house was fully completed. After a hard day's work, he decided to prepare a lavish dinner to treat himself. With his vast survival experience, he easily caught a large fish with his bare hands. He cleaned the fish and placed it on the fireplace to stew. While waiting for the fish to cook, he took the opportunity to build a small wooden table for himself. Soon after, the delicious stewed fish was ready. He enjoyed the wonderful dish while dreaming about the beautiful life ahead in this small house, his heart filled with happiness and hope.